Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 2856 Awakening. Li Changgong's sword represents rules, not brute force to cleave everything, but everything that is subject to his blade. As his blade points, the basic particles that make it up will automatically avoid it. In other words, it's not that he split the object, but rather that the object actively chose to avoid him, so it doesn't require any effort at all. Deep within the seven-layered fortress, they saw a figure sitting in a chair, shrouded in black metal armor and wearing a strange mask, making it impossible to see his true face. Is it him? Uncle swallowed hard, feeling a little nervous, because he was afraid that this was just a stand-in arranged by someone else, and not Jingmeng herself. In that case, everything they did would have failed. Zhuyu kept her eyes closed, sensing the line extending from the Tianhai fortress in the village, the causal connection between Jingmeng, Zhang Yi, and Yang Xinxin. That's right, it's him. Zhu Yu's clear, cold eyes stared at the dream before her, and suddenly an intense light burst forth from them. A body of black knight caliber, and possessing an extremely powerful source of energy, I can sense that this is simply the most perfect body I could ever dream of. In front of everyone, Zhu Yu suddenly rushed towards the deathly silent Jingmeng. In an instant, her body transformed into viscous venom, rapidly opening in midair to devour Jingmeng. As long as she completes the absorption of this black knight-level superhuman, even if there is a loss of her own essence during the energy absorption and conversion process, she is confident that she can directly raise her combat power to the white knight level within a year. Puff! A huge black shadow flashed past from the side, directly knocking Zhu Yu away. Hua's massive, tower-like claw blocked Jingmeng's path. It turned its head and coldly stared at Zhu Yu, who was stuck to the ground like chewing gum, slowly reforming into its true form. Don't let greed ruin you. This is not something you can covet. A hint of resentment flashed in Zhu Yu's eyes, but she still nodded obediently. I know. Uncle gave Hua thumbs up. Steamed clams. Hua liked and responded. Uncle said in front of everyone, Chaos said that everyone contributed to this operation, so everyone gets a share. He will give all of this black knight-level essence to everyone else, and he won't take any for himself. Everyone who participated in this fierce battle was injured to varying degrees, and some were even seriously injured and on the verge of death. Even with more than twice the manpower to overwhelm an enemy of the same level, killing them would still involve enormous risks. But upon hearing about the generous reward, their eyes lit up immediately. Even just obtaining the essence of the Black Knight would greatly enhance their strength. If it's going to be cut, let it be done by the person who cuts it. Delay will only cause problems. Li Changgong stepped forward and brought his sword down with a single strike. This slash, once unleashed, was like a dense net forming before the blade, creating an impenetrable trap. Jingming's body was neatly cut into more than 1,000 pieces of flesh, and even her indestructible armor was of no use. Before the power of origin could dissipate, it was completely wiped out by everyone. While Zhang Yi was still in his dream, quietly awaiting victory, he was suddenly shocked to discover that the life force within his body had been abruptly drained away by something. He looked down at his body and found that it had dissipated like smoke. If the skin is gone, where will the hair attach? When the physical body is completely destroyed, the existence of the spiritual body will inevitably disappear as well. For the first time, fear and despair appeared in his previously relaxed and confident eyes, which then turned into an expression of intense resentment. No, how could this be? Why? You should have won. How could you die? Who could have killed you? Who killed you? Before he died, a series of images flashed through his mind. But no matter how many times he reviewed the game, he couldn't figure out why he lost this time. Because he had no idea about the truth. He believed that Zhang Yi and his group were passively drawn into the Starry Sky Corridor operation, while he was the assassin who followed and hunted down Zhang Yi. But the truth is that the entire Starry Sky Corridor and the Omega Staircase, used to lure everyone into participating in this operation, were nothing more than a trap set by Zhang Yi and the Dragon Clan Alliance. The real trap was set by Zhang Yi. Even if they don't move now, Zhang Yi will still strike and kill them if he finds the right opportunity in the Starry Sky Corridor. In a life-or-death struggle, it's not about who goes first or who has the better skills. With Jingming's death, the dream Zhang Yi was trapped in gradually dissipated, and the force that threatened his life disappeared. Using the prophetic ability of the second hand of time, Zhang Yi glimpsed the coming of Jingming's death, and he knew that his plan had succeeded. Together with Yang Xinxin, they first left the netherworld, and then, using Yang Xinxin's precise memories, they used the nerve anchor points on their ears to gradually return to reality from the depths of the 16th layer of the dream. The two woke up from the recliners at almost the same time, Zhang Yi's eyes filled with vicissitudes. He lay on the chair, not saying a word. No one knows how long Yang Xinxin has gone through in the past month or so. It feels like an eternity. His memory is indeed somewhat hazy. He has even forgotten many things and people from his past. Zhang Yi and Yang Xinxin woke up from their dream, both feeling confused, unable to distinguish between dream and reality. Meanwhile, Zhou Ke, Yang Xia, and the others who had been watching over them showed expressions of surprise and delight. They're awake. Quick, quick, would you like some water? Aunt Zhou Haimei quickly brought over 2 cups of hot water. Zhou Ke was also flustered and instinctively wanted to help Zhang Yi check his body. But what's wrong with Zhang Yi's health? He has always been very strong, a fact that Zhou Ke knows better than anyone else. Zhang Yi looked around and, after clearly seeing Zhou Ke and the others' faces, slowly returned to reality from the dream. He rubbed his temples hard, and everything in the dream slowly blurred and faded away. Is he awake? That means the Nightmare Clan's killer has been killed. If you don't mean it, that's how it is. Yang Xinxin sat up, her fair feet encased in black chocolate stockings, and slowly put on her leather shoes. Their plan is proceeding as scheduled, and they're doing a good job. Chapter 2857, Let's Turn the Tide. That would be fantastic. Zhang Yi spent some time regaining his senses. This operation appears extremely dangerous, but in reality, he still has a backup plan. When the final moment arrives, he can completely extricate himself from the dream. That segment represents his ability to manipulate time-related rules. However, once this ability is activated, it will inevitably alert the Nightmare Clan's assassins, causing them to take action again. The news of Zhang Yi's awakening reached Lu Karen and Hutu immediately. Seeing the thrilling battle outside still raging, Lu Karen's eyes lit up with delight. Brother, you're finally awake. We've won now. Zhang Yi then realized that outside the Tianhai fortress, they still needed to deal with Jingming's entourage. It was time to go out and teach those arrogant fools a lesson. Zhang Yi stood up. Mental fatigue would not affect his physical health. Whoosh. He activated the Boundless Realm and arrived directly outside the Sky-Sea Fortress, where he saw Ling confronting the enormous spider demon. Ling's combat power was only temporarily enhanced and could not be maintained at the level of the Black Knight for long. However, with her incomparably strong control over her supernatural abilities and physical body, coupled with the support of Ho-Tu, she actually beat the spider demon Rant until he was covered in blood. The moment Zhang Yi appeared, without any hesitation, he made a move in the void, and the enormous Titan bioweapon, the God-slaying bow, appeared in his palm. With the bow drawn and arrow knocked, the power of time and space unfolded simultaneously in his eyes, enveloping Rant's enormous body like a final chapter of destiny. Even after fighting the Sky-Sea Fortress and the Spirit for a long time, Rant still possessed extremely powerful combat abilities because his tower-like body was almost indestructible. But suddenly, in an instant, he felt an extreme threat of death lock onto his body. He turned around abruptly, and when he saw the man's figure, the more than 100 eyes on his spider head started spinning rapidly, like a broken pendulum. How is this possible? How could you not be dead? Rant exclaimed in disbelief. Even he, if targeted by a terrifying being like Jingmeng, would most likely be killed once it entered his dreams. Because that is the most elite killing race among all races. This frail creature had not slept for almost a month and was in the worst mental state. How did he manage to do that? He racked his brains trying to figure it out, but the Nightmare Clan member Jingmeng, whom he had also figured out, had already died among Zhang Yi's companions. Zhang Yi slowly drew back the bowstring, and a terrifying, murderous energy erupted from the vibrant bioweapon. He used to be the best killer in the world, but his methods killed me. Boom! The god-slaying bow unleashed a terrifying killing intent. An extremely dark light transformed into an invisible black arrow, instantly piercing a distance of tens of kilometers and arriving directly in front of the spider demon's massive body. In the final chapter of Destiny, this ability, Spatial Lock, shortens the distance between him and the spider demon, while Temporal Prediction allows him to anticipate all possible actions, thus forming a deadly skill that is almost causal. With nowhere to hide, the spider demon could only let out a deafening roar and unleash its most powerful ability to form a shield in front of itself. Arrows from the netherworld slammed into his supernatural shield. Two forces from the Black Knight level clashed, but ultimately the netherworld material force, capable of annihilating everything in the material world, prevailed. Rand's supernatural shield was crushed inch by inch. The arrows from the netherworld pierced through it as quickly as if they were hitting rotten wood, and then penetrated its incredibly tough carapace. Boom! The black light pierced the sky and also penetrated Rand's chest. This blow pierced through Rand's chest, leaving a terrifying hole with a diameter of over 5 meters. Zhang Yi chose a very tricky angle for his arrow. This was because the opening had already been created by Ho Tu, Ling, and Lu Karen using the main cannon of the Tianhai fortress, which allowed him to pierce through Rand so easily with this strike. Dark green blood flowed from the enormous cave. Rand seemed to find it hard to believe that his defenses, which possessed the world's most superior physical body, had been breached. But the next moment, something unexpected happened. Such a horrific wound would lead anyone to believe that Ramp was dead, or at least seriously injured. However, his enormous body and 4 pairs of limbs that could be described as pillars of heaven's suddenly exerted force stomped on the ground and then shot away into the distance like a rocket. Operation failed. Retreat immediately. Ramp conveyed the message of retreat to the other 2 regions. He knew how powerful Zhang Yi was. If he could obtain him through assassination, then there would be no chance of victory if they continued fighting. Moreover, Zhang Yi was surrounded by a group of powerful henchmen at this time. Even Zhang Yi was astonished by Rand's incredible vitality. So, this is the spider demon race? As expected, none of the aliens who can reach the level of Black Knight are easy to deal with. Upon receiving Ramet's message, Edward the Vampire and Barber the Norl, who were still locked in a fierce battle, were suddenly visibly shaken. Even at this stage, it still hasn't succeeded? Just how terrifying is the chaos of the clan? Edward was in a dazed state. Nearly 1/3 of his life had been devoured by Locke, which meant that 1/3 of his past life had been completely lost. With the mission already a failure, he clearly had no reason to fight to the death with Locke. Let this battle end here. I will remember you, Locke Howe of the Eldar. Edward gave him a deep look, and suddenly his body transformed into a huge bat in midair. Boom! With a flap of his wings, he conjured a vast, illusory sea of blood in the void, obscuring the sky. Edward used this as cover to disappear from the original place. Luo Qiao did not continue to pursue him, and his current condition was not much better. The spirit feather that was formed from S' own soul was also killed by Edward, leaving in a very weak state. It takes a very long time to mend one's broken soul. I've sacrificed a lot to help you this time. Luo Qiao smiled wryly, as if talking to herself, or perhaps to Zhang Yi. But he knew it was all worth it, because Bai Longzi had promised that after the Starry Sky Corridor trip, Luo Qiaoke would go to the Dragon Kingdom to pay homage to the legendary Fuxi and receive a personal audience with him. Chapter 2858, I need your help in my cultivation. In another space, Barboda, the null space master whose arm had been severed by Shunfeng, closed his eyes in despair. Having gone this far, you still haven't succeeded? Perhaps this is just fate. He no longer launched attacks on Shunfeng. He had to be on high alert to deal with this dangerous enemy. Although the opponent was only a simple enhancement-type ability user, once he entered the enemy's attack range, there was absolutely no way to predict the timing and path of the attack. Barboda retracted his eightfold hell space, transforming it into an escape portal, and headed into the distance. When he tried to escape, Shunfeng found it difficult to pursue him because he was also unable to discern the trajectory of space. Zhang Yi watched the departing spider demon rant, but did not choose to pursue him. Because his current state is not at its peak, and after being immersed in a deep dream for a long time, his mind is still somewhat dazed. He never takes risks unless he can maintain his peak condition. Spider demons? Sooner or later, I will kill you all. Zhang Yi's tone was very calm, but those who knew him knew that if given a chance, he would definitely make this race disappear from the world. Because he would never allow any enemy who threatens his life to live in this world. This battle, at the level of a Black Knight, ended in this manner. Rather, it's more accurate to say that Zhang Yi deliberately created an opportunity for them to ambush and kill them. Luo Qiao and Shunfeng both returned to Tianhai Fortress. Seeing their disheveled appearance, Zhang Yi didn't say many polite words, but solemnly addressed them. I owe you a huge favor. If you ever need anything in the future, feel free to come to me. Shunfeng simply nodded faintly, while Luo Qiao gave a weak smile. The journey through the Starry Sky Corridor is still long. If you want to repay the favor, the opportunity may come soon. The two returned to the Sky Sea Fortress, where their subordinates naturally came to help them back to rest. Not long after, Uncle Yu and the Human Alliance returned. Zhang Yi counted the number of people and found that no one had died, so he breathed a sigh of relief. Despite having made ample arrangements, he still did not want to see anyone die. However, 13 armed battle maidens suffered significant damage. In his plan, he intended for these 13 armed battle maidens to draw the main firepower in a near-suicidal manner, in order to save the lives of the others as much as possible. Even if a war maiden is incredibly precious, she is just an artificial human. She can be repaired, but once a person dies, she cannot be brought back to life. Thank you for your hard work this time. The crisis has been temporarily resolved, and you can now recover for a while. You also obtain the essence of the Dream Awakening, right? Li Chong smiled and shrugged. The essence of the Black Knight level, even if you only get a part of it, the feeling is still very enjoyable. Zhang Yi gave him a deep look. Go into seclusion and cultivate your abilities. If you raise your power level, your potential won't be much lower than mine. A look of surprise flashed in Li Chang's eyes. He hadn't expected that Zhang Yi would still value him so much now. Little did he know that Zhang Yi never underestimated anyone. Li Chang, who was once on par with him, possessed extremely strong talent, but it was wasted his time indulging in power struggles. As the saying goes, if you're slow at one step, you'll be slow at every step, which is why he is now only ranked in the top tier among the 6th-generation Epsilons. Then, Zhang Yi looked at Zhu Yu, who was almost invisible in the crowd. He grinned, revealing a meaningful smile. Did you devour the power of the Dream Awakening? Zhu Yu raised her head, her dark eyes filled with an extreme innocence and naivety. She nodded. Yes, I have completely absorbed his abilities, and now I can control dreams. She raised her palm, and her small, white hand suddenly became ethereal, then transformed into wisps of white and black smoke. Zhang Yi smiled. That's good. Next, I need your help with my cultivation. The Nightmare Clan is too much of a threat, and Zhang Yi doesn't want to remain in a passive position forever, so he needs to master an ability that can counter the Nightmare Clan. Then he would need to constantly enter the dream world to practice and try different methods to break the spell. Currently, Zhu Yu, whose superpower index has barely broken 30,000 points, is clearly the best training partner for him. Lu Karen ran over. Brother, We are less than 1,000 kilometers away from the singularity above Zero Star. If we go at full speed, we can reach it before tomorrow. At that time, we can leave this damn entropy-reducing planet. Don't get too excited yet. Just then, a voice that always seemed to be throwing cold water on others rang out. Professor Leonardo da Vinci, wearing a white lab coat and with his hands behind his back, still sporting his lifeless eyes, said, "The existence of Zero Star is not accidental. It exists here to control the state chain of the entire star corridor and prevent it from collapsing due to excessive entropy. So, it is conceivable that the area ahead will only experience more terrible chaos. Just like the water tank on a car, it needs to cool down an overheated engine. The area they are currently in is only the entrance to the vast starry sky corridor. No one knows what terrifying things lie deep within." Zhang Yi recalled the terrifying energy fluctuations that had emanated from the depths of the starry sky corridor some time ago. That must have been because the 6 super races as the vanguard clashed with some beings in the star corridor. Zhang Yi narrowed his eyes and said calmly, "Let's keep going forward and see." With Bai Longzi and the people from the other 5 super races leading the way, Datu's troubles have already been resolved by them. He shrugged. "I wouldn't mind following them around and picking up the scraps. And, by the way," a cold glint flashed in his eyes, "find an opportunity to hunt down and kill those who have ill intentions towards me." At this point, he directly instructed Liu Karen to transmit the footage of the previous battle to the other races on 0-point star. The facts are irrefutable. They attacked Zhang Yixian. According to the previous covenant among all races, they must be punished. Therefore, Zhang Yi now possesses unlimited power to attack them. Liu Karen nodded and immediately did as Zhang Yi instructed. Luo Qiao said with a smile, "Although the original agreement among the myriad races was correct, you should never expect anyone to help you deal with them. After all, those races that attacked us were among the most powerful races in the world, second only to the 6 super races." Zhang Yi said calmly, "I know, but I, Zhang Yi, don't need to use others to take revenge. If I don't encounter someone as troublesome as Jing Meng and have to fight them face to face, I'm not afraid of any of these 4. Chapter 2859, A Helpless Move. Zhang Yi immediately instructed Liu Karen to inform the allied forces of the 10,000 races in the surrounding area of the truth of the incident, as he wanted to first obtain the title of righteousness. So next, he can legitimately and indiscriminately kill all 4 groups. That's the rule. If any group or individual among all races betrays the alliance at this crucial juncture, the entire group will be implicated. Upon receiving the news, the various clans were somewhat taken aback, not expecting that the Nightmare Clan and the Vampire Clan would dare to make a move at this time. They were truly audacious. Now that things have been exposed, according to the previous agreement of the alliance, their tribe is going to be in trouble. Some people said with schadenfreude, most of the races are in a state of conflict, with very few forming alliances. Seeing that these powerful groups are about to be punished means they will be able to get more resources in the future, so they are naturally happy. Said with a cold laugh, "Even if war really breaks out, so what? Even if execution is necessary, it will be decided by those 6 super races. Do you really think they would dare to lay a hand on a vassal of the Dragon Clan without any intervention? Hee, to put it bluntly, it's just another proxy war. Let's see what they do next. Let them fight. It's good that they're fighting, we'll just watch the show." Other races all showed an indifferent attitude. This was something Zhang Yi had anticipated, but he didn't take it seriously. A day later, the convoy successfully reached Zero Star, and upon arriving at this pole, just as Professor Leonardo da Vinci had predicted, the entropy reduction effect of Zero Star was reduced to its weakest point, allowing their spaceship to break free from the force binding them and take off. Zhang Yi retrieved the giant Dreamer warship from another dimension. Once aboard, the superpowered engine emitted blue flames, lifting the giant spaceship into the sky. They were heading deeper into the starry corridor, and this stage was merely a narrow passage at the entrance. Meanwhile, on another side of Zero Star, Ramet, Edward, and Bobbert, who had escaped, gathered together. Bertha's severed left arm had long since grown back with the medicinal potion. The advanced races have reached the pinnacle of medical technology. As long as a person dies on the spot, even if only a brain remains, a new physical body can be created. With Yen Jingmeng killed and all the elite henchmen they brought wiped out, the mood of the person in question was quite pleasant. Especially the spider demon Rant, whose chest was pierced by a hole. Although new flesh has grown, that area is still vulnerable. Now that Jingmeng has been killed, our operation has completely failed, and it will definitely implicate our tribe. What are your plans after we get here? Rant said in a deep, muffled voice. Edward, the vampire, sat on a rock, his hands clasped together for support. After thinking for a moment, he said calmly, "The situation has become very favorable for us. After the war in the Star Corridor ends, our race will inevitably face reckoning. Even if it is that supporter of, in order to save face for the alliance of 10,000 races, will sanction us. Although it may not lead to the extinction of our people, it will certainly cause serious damage." Ramp suddenly let out a low, resentful snort. "I'm taking such a huge risk to work for that guy. Can he even provide us with a basic guarantee of safety?" Edward glanced at him indifferently. "If we can really kill the chaos of the clan at Zero Star, even if the matter is exposed afterward, that will give us enough compensation." But now, his expression suddenly turned ferocious. "We lost. We don't even have the face to see that guy, so how can we talk about asking for his protection?" Rant and Bada looked extremely grim. They probably wouldn't be able to sleep at night, racking their brains trying to figure out where the operation plan had gone wrong. Suddenly, Bada said, "We have no other choice but to leave the Star Corridor immediately and lead our people to escape into the universe. In that case, with that keeping us in check, we can still escape punishment." Upon hearing this, the spider demon Ramp roared in fury. "How is that possible? Foolish. Fleeing into the stars, abandoning the protection of our home planet, we will be wiped out by the chaos of the universe. Even the powerful star clan has perished, let alone us. Of all the spatial nodes in the universe, only the solar system, centered around Star D, is in an absolutely safe state. Because this place is protected by the will of the Creator, or more precisely, by the collective consciousness of all races. A strong desire to seek help has created a massive barrier, preventing terrifying crises such as black holes and cosmic storms from descending upon this place. And once they leave the protection of this place, even a race that possesses a king-level alien race, which is considered to be of an extremely high level among alien races, will be completely annihilated when faced with the devouring of a black hole. The Omega of the contains free will," I said calmly. "If you're willing, we have another option." "What road?" I asked Ramp, he said. "Continue the hunt for chaos. Now that things have been exposed, we will carry out the plan to the end. As long as we can kill him, we can at least give an explanation to that." They looked at each other, their faces somber and grave. They were well aware of Zhang Yi's strength. They, like Zhang Yi, are at the Black Knight level with an ability index of over 60,000. Although they took longer to reach this level than Zhang Yi and had a higher ability index, Zhang Yi was stronger than these geniuses from various races in terms of ability attributes. Even looking at the entire history of life, those who can simultaneously possess both spatial and advanced temporal abilities are extremely rare. Those who possess such talent and are able to successfully grow to the rank of knight are destined to become overlords. If all of this is still enough to frighten them, then the most troublesome thing is that if they want to kill Zhang Yi while he is on guard, they must set up an even more meticulous killing trap. The idea of maximizing their own abilities while simultaneously limiting Zhang Yi's abilities to achieve a counter to the supernatural attribute is simply a pipe dream.
Alright, that's it for today's chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the Buzz Play Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises.